Who is Randy?
Don't bring anyone mother into this.
Yo, mom in the fucking stand!
And we're back. I haven't done this show in a minute. I had a little boo-boo.
Is your first one back?
Yeah, I got ouchie here. I got another ouchie there.
What an honor.
Yeah,
I didn't realize. I was like,
we were trying to do this a little while ago.
Yeah, and then you fucked yourself up.
Fucked myself up.
Yeah.
Doing my fucking Bron
Like
impression.
10 people sent me the video. I
Yeah.
couldn't bear. I didn't watch it.
Really?
Couldn't bring myself to watch it.
You're like, I know that guy.
I know that guy.
Yeah.
If it's a
And
stranger
they're
on
like,
the
"Oh, I
internet,
know.
I can
That's
be like,
why we're sending it to you."
I know. And then I'm like, I don't want to see my
Uh,
friend get that hurt.
Yeah. No, but I'm driving.
That's
all
good.
that's important.
Yeah, with this power glove,
I take my bionic glove.
things all right.
I was wearing that thing around. People were like, "Is that like? Does your brain control that?" I'm like, "Yeah, it does."
They have that. Have you seen
That's
that
how I
shit
go.
now?
Well, I've seen that.
The
like
one where like the prosthetic is like plugged
yeah.
into your brain
That
stem, and
shit's
you're like, jerk
wild.
off.
Yeah,
It just goes.
make me come.
Do you think someone wrote a program for that?
Definitely, because you know what happened? Someone didn't write a program for that, and then someone
And
got the glove. And
the
was
first
like, "This
owner
fucking
made a
thing
warranty
sucks."
claim?
Yeah.
OTA.
Someone was
do you
like,
think
we forgot to wipe their
I
asses.
think there's
and-
OTA updates?
Yeah, yes.
Quick, download the jerk off program.
And then you have to be like, hey, I can actually jerk off with the hand that works, but I need this robotic finger up my ass. And they're like, we can do that. We can do that.
Can you just like take it off and it'll just walk around like cousin it and shit?
Probably.
Fucking badass.
That'd be so badass.
I would like, if I ever had to have a prosthetic, I would definitely want one that did something on its own.
Yeah.
Like,
And also, like,
call up some programs.
we all need a dopamine drip. So it's
Right.
like, make the thing make me feel good.
Did you get the best drugs in the hospital?
Yeah. They were so good. And
They're so good. I
The only
actually am
reason-
still on them now.
oh my God. I kicked them because of two things. Number one, I was just like, I've heard too many horror stories.
Yes,
And-
they're all true.
They're all true, and there's like an epidemic in this country, right, with oxys, and that's what they're giving you. Like,
Yeah.
they're giving you oxys, they're giving you shots,
Yeah.
Dilaudid, which is just
Shots of
Just
Dilaudid. It's gnarly.
And
my
like-
trainer had an accident a few years ago and became an opiate addict,
Yeah.
and it just destroyed his entire life.
I mean, look,
I don't have a trainer anymore, by the way, because of this. Like,
I mean, it was
ex-trainer.
it's a fear. It's a fear.
yeah.
That, and most importantly, I couldn't shit.
Mm-hmm.
And that, to me, after the third shit that had to be by suppository,
Right.
where I was like, I can't shit. It's been 4 days, and they're like,
Here
finger
we
up the ass with
go.
the thing, and then like just like a sewage line would come out of me. It wouldn't even be like a shit. I was like, I'm
This
not.
isn't worth it.
Well, they would be like, hey, do you want your oxy? And I was like, no,
No.
no.
Well, I brought you some weed.
Thank
When
you.
I had my back surgery, I used really strong weed to get off painkillers. It didn't make the pain go away, but I got high enough to forget that it hurt.
Yeah, I mean,
It was cool.
I've been taking the edibles every
Yeah.
day, and helps me go to sleep.
So I've had 2 back surgeries,
Yeah.
and my brother-in-law has this Australian restaurant in Santa Monica called Bluey's, and he really likes selling barely legal drugs. It's like one of his favorite things. He's Australian. He's like, mate, I just got this. FDA don't know. And he'll pull out some shit that is like nature fresh, and it's in like a blue bottle. He's like, mate, this will get you going. And so I go there yesterday, and I tweaked my fucking back out. And he goes, I got something. He gives me this bottle, and I have a picture of the bottle. I'll show you. It's not good radio to show you a picture, but
Yeah.
it's kava and kratom. Have you
Yeah,
heard of
everyone's
these?
talking about kratom.
Okay. Have you ever fucking taken it? Look at this bottle.
No.
It's a little tiny blue bottle like the size of a 5-hour energy. It says, feel free plant-based tonic. Looks totally innocent.
Yeah.
I fucking chug one of these things. It's like a couple ounces, right? It tastes like sand.
Okay.
It tastes it's sand and maybe a little pineapple juice. It's fucking gross.
Okay.
Take it, chug a water afterwards because you got to get it. It's gone.
Yeah.
3 minutes, my face is numb.
Really?
Face numb. Like, okay, so this is drugs, and I don't know what is in it, but it's drugs.
Yeah.
Face is numb. I go downstairs. I have my home gym. I've got a mat laid out, and I start doing stretches. And within like 3 minutes, the back pain is gone completely. It's completely gone. I was like hunchback in Notre Dame.
Wow.
It's gone. I do stretches for like 10 minutes. I stand up, and I go, I am on drugs.
Really?
I am on like
fucked up.
opiates, like drugs. I go, okay, this is cool. But I'm a little weirded out. But I'm like, I could probably like stand up straight. I don't think I'm gonna fall over drugs, but I'm definitely on drugs, right?
Yeah.
And I smoke weed like all day, and it's definitely distinctly different from that. So I have an arc trainer, elliptical machine. So I'm like, my back feels fucking good. Maybe get some cardio in. Start doing cardio. 5 minutes into cardio, I'm like, I'm on cocaine. I'm like, whoa! And it has a heart rate monitor. Like 10 minutes into the workout, my heart's going like 152.
Oh my God.
It's going, but I feel good. I'm like sweating. I'm like, yes, like I'm on it. And the back pain didn't come back.
Since then?
Since then.
Wow, that's quite an endorsement for Kratom. I've been hearing
this shit is weird. It's definitely drugs though.
The moment it was public that I was hurt, I got bombarded with messages
About Kratom?
Yes, everybody's like, you need to get Kratom. You need to get it now.
Yeah,
everybody's
it's drugs.
saying, I haven't tried it.
It feels like opiates and speed and painkillers together.
Now I'm
in this little friendly blue ass bottle.
That sounds like a good time.
And my wife was like, I'm like, oh, we had 2 bottles. I took some more Kratom. I was like, I feel fucking great right now. She's like, I don't think you should drink more of this. No, she hasn't tried it yet.
Gotta get
she's
her
like,
to try it.
she's like, I don't know if you should drink more. And my cousin's like, mate, I got a case coming to you. I don't,
Dude, bring some Kratom by.
I'll bring some back if I come back for sure.
Yeah, I definitely want it.
It's really, I don't know anything about it other than it seems to have made back pain go away while also simultaneously getting me very high.
Yeah. That's
weird.
It's a great
combo.
And
I could poo.
And
did not stop me from
I
pooing.
gotta tell you,
it's been less than 4 days.
I didn't realize that to me until I was in the situation. If someone was like, do you want to be in maybe some pretty serious pain or take a shit? And that I would be like, I'll take some
Up
pain.
until right now, like that wasn't a binary decision you ever had to make, right?
No. And it was, I'm telling you, that third time when I was done and they were like, time for your oxys, I was like, don't bring them in.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want any more.
Yeah.
I'm not
How
doing
fucked were you when you tried to get off them, though? Were you on them for long enough for it to make a difference?
I only remember crying a lot.
I'm going to do this because, because my mic was just not in the right place.
No, I got you.
You remember what? Crying a lot?
Like, they told me, PT came by, she was like, hey, have you gotten real emotional? And I was like, no. She goes, it's coming. And I go, what?
Just wait.
She goes, it's coming, like, next few days. And I was like, I feel fine.
Mm-hmm.
And like the next day I was like, oh no. Yeah. I was crying a lot.
That's crazy.
That was it. I didn't have like physical withdrawals, but I thought I was having oxy physical withdrawals because
you were crying?
I had COVID.
Oh.
So I didn't know.
That's fucked up.
Yeah. So like basically they saw me all sick.
That's so crazy.
And they're
the
like,
timing of that.
I know. So I was like, oh, these are all oxy because I was looking at the check mark. I was like, oh, I'm achy. I'm tired. I was like, I'm a fucking serious addict. And so I was like, I'm fucked up. And then like the third day, they're like, you might have a bug. And I was like, I don't know. And then they're like, do you want to do a COVID test? I was like, sure.
That is crazy.
And I found out I was COVID positive.
That's very, very wild.
But the emotional
what
stuff
a
was
shitty
definitely,
coincidence. I mean, that's crazy.
I mean, yeah, it could not have been a shittier month.
That's so fucking bad. I thought I had COVID. Turns out I was allergic to one of the strains of weed they gave me.
Really?
Yeah. Your staff really like that. Yeah. I was allergic to a derivative of Blue Dream.
Really? Yeah. You got sick?
Not sick, but like real sniffly.
Yeah.
Like totally stuffed nose, mad congested, like came out of nowhere. But then the next...
How did you tie it together? Like you just...
Well, because the next morning it was completely gone. And then I took a fucking adjustment.
Yeah.
And then it came right back.
Oh, wow.
I called the guys and I was like, boys, no more of this.
No more of this.
And I brought it over here to you.
Thanks, man. We got it. I haven't even given you a proper introduction. Matt Farah, of course, the Smoking Tire.
Thank you, sir.
The whole brand that you've built. I'm super fascinated because I've gotten to know you and... You have kind of like, everybody has what they do, and then they go, man, if I could like have like a, like your fantasy.
We have each other's.
Yeah, yeah.
I would be a stand-up comic, and you would test drive cars.
Yeah, yeah. And you even got me to be able to do it. So
I let you taste the flavor a little bit.
Did.
It's some McLarens.
It's really addictive.
It is. Yeah. It is. Yeah. That's why people keep doing it, even though there's like almost no money in it.
How often do you get hit up? I was imagining it quite a bit by people who go like, I want to be an auto journalist. Is it?
Every day.
Every day.
Every day.
What? So that here's what we'll do. You answer the question now, and then we'll snip it for you. And every time you get asked and you feel like answering, you can just send them the video.
I have a copy paste.
You do?
That's ready. Yes.
Oh, okay.
And I also have, I've done multiple like podcast interviews with like entrepreneur focused podcasts, and I usually send them that.
And what
That story, if I were to tell you the story, it takes 38 minutes.
Okay,
I've told it so many times.
We can chop it down.
The long and short of it is like, I mean, do you really want to know?
Well, can
Well,
I tell you my guess?
Yeah.
My guess is almost like the same with stand-up, which is, first of all, are you obsessed with this? Because if you're
Yes.
not, you really shouldn't.
Yes,
You know?
couldn't do anything else. If I had to do anything else, I'd be horrible at any of it.
Yeah.
And I was. I tried to do a few other
You
things.
tried to do other things.
And I was bad at all of them.
But you have to have an obsession about the thing.
Yeah.
And you have to be persistent, and you have to be able to do entry-level shit that you probably don't want to do
Right.
for real shit money. Maybe
Yeah.
no money.
Yes.
Maybe it costs you money.
Maybe negative money
Yeah.
sometimes.
And be in that for a while.
Yeah.
Digging
You're pretty
through it.
right.
Yeah.
You're right there. You're basically there. I started doing this like before YouTube was a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like I read the magazines when I was a kid, but that didn't seem like an attainable like gig. The guy who writes the reviews in magazines, like that didn't seem attainable. Like so you think, that doesn't seem attainable. But like through a series of right place, right times, and also like I had this car wash with my friend Larry Casilla, and we had a driving club, and right as YouTube came out in 2006, I was trying to figure out ways to make our driving club cool. And I thought the way to do that would be to hire a cameraman, make videos of our drives, and put them on YouTube.
That was it.
That was it.
That's it.
And they're still up. They're like 240p. They're so old. You know how old those videos are? They're so old that they have pop music as soundtracks that are grandfathered in.
They're not even
Like
flagged.
Stone Temple Pilots,
Wow.
TV on the radio, like Cold War Kids, Pearl Jam. And the videos are so old, they are not taken down because of that. That's how
It's
old they were.
15 years old,
it's
man. We're not gonna flag
pre-DMCA.
Holy shit.
Yeah, pre-DMCA. So they're still there. They're terrible videos, but they're there.
Yeah.
And, one day, just videos of us driving around turned into me with a microphone narrating
about
or
the car.
whatever.
Now, here's the thing. I'm jumping all over the place, but like you're really good at, like you really know the auto world. You really know cars. You really know how to review them. Was it a big learning process? Like, were you at the beginning?
I wasn't just automatically good.
Yeah,
That's what
that's what I'm
mean.
saying.
Like my background like started with reading about cars and then quickly turned into driving everything I could. I worked at a couple dealerships. I worked at an exotic car rental company.
I want to talk about
The
that.
exotic car rental company is where I really learned a lot.
Really?
Yeah, a lot. What breaks, what doesn't break, how customers would treat these cars so badly, and I drove all of them, so I learned, there was a real period of like 4 or 5 years where I drove every supercar that was, available,
Yeah.
and it was a great knowledge base, and
Because you have like savant
but
knowledge
it's
of cars.
but only it's like it's
It's focused.
I'm like
Yeah.
a fucking moron at like a bunch of other shit. I just remember the things that I care about remembering.
It's kind of
My brain has figured out how to organize car data.
yeah. Okay. Sure.
And the more time I spend with the car, the more room my brain allocates for that data.
Sure.
So I've driven thousands of cars, some of them for only like 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And in that case, I probably don't remember very much.
Right.
But if I've spent any real time with the car, I probably remember a good bit about it.
Yeah.
And I can summon it as needed. And if I have any kind of skill at all, it's that I can drive like 80% of my race pace while calmly having a conversation with nobody about something completely unrelated to what's happening right in front of me.
Wow.
That's like the only actual skill
like
I
the
have.
skill set.
Yeah, everything else is just like repetition.
Wow. So did it go from you uploading the videos and then talking about it to somebody saying, "We want
Yes,
you to
back in the day, yes. Literally, I had made like 5 videos, and this dude named Emil, which is like a supervillain fucking name. It's very appropriate because he's in prison now. Shitbag.
Shout out to Emil.
Shout out to Emil Rensing, inmate number 232, fucking 5, Federal Correction System.
Okay.
Suck a dick. That guy basically was like, hey, I have a multi-channel network. That was a thing. Like now a multi-channel network is like virtual,
Yeah.
right? It's like Like your podcast and my podcast are part of the same sort of multi-channel network of ad sales, right?
Right.
Which I thank you.
Oh, yeah,
I owe you fucking many steak dinners when we can do that again.
Please.
You helped make me a lot more money last year, and I really appreciate that.
My pleasure.
Fair trade for the McLarens in the driveway.
Definitely.
Okay, cool. But this dude was like, hey, I've got this show about cars called Fastlane Daily, which was a show that was around for a while. It was like a newsy daily talk show about car news. Host was sick. You seem like you can talk about cars. Come on down.
Wow.
And I read a teleprompter, but I sort of knew what I was talking about. And within a week or two, I had my own show on that guy's network. So, like, that shit doesn't happen anymore. Like, no one's going to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
No one will pay you a salary to talk about cars on YouTube right now.
You really got to do your own. Because, like, the way that I learned about you was how I learned about, I mean, you probably know all of them, all the car reviewers.
Yeah, I know a bunch of them, yeah.
Because as somebody who likes cars, you go to YouTube and you're like, this is fantastic.
Yeah.
Like, you can look up, a car comes out. I want to know about, what's going on with this car. And it's like, you go down that hole of seeing, and then you guys all, I feel like the notable reviewers have a little different perspective and style.
And you just find the person that you relate to the most. You go, okay, this guy thinks how I think.
Exactly.
And then you can kind of latch onto that person.
Right.
Yeah. But YouTube allows you to really get that
you got to be
absorbed in it.
You got to do, like, everybody who does it, like you said, no one's going to be like, hey, come do this to us. But if you do it yourself, I mean, isn't Doug DeMuro a perfect example of like a very specific type of dude who's doing his own thing. It's very much, it feels like this is not a put on, this is who this guy really is.
Oh yeah.
And he's found this, like,
and not only that, he's like more in person than he is on camera. He's more that guy in person.
Really?
Like there's a reason that when I make videos, like, I'm by myself in the middle of the desert. I don't really like people that much. Like, I prefer to make this video alone where I can drive fast and nobody will bother me.
Sure.
If you give Doug a car and you give me the same car and you go, you each have 12 hours with this car to make your video. And let's assume it's an awesome car. Let's assume it's like one of those McLarens. Like a 720 or something, right? Something sick. I am going to go drive the piss out of this car for 6 hours and 45 minutes and make a video for 15 minutes about what I learned during that time while I was driving very fast.
Sure.
Doug will park this thing in a fucking parking lot and spend 5 hours and 45 minutes pressing buttons on the dashboard, and opening levers and shit. And then maybe 20 minutes driving it at the end.
And dressing like he just got off a cruise from Bermuda.
Exactly. Owning that.
Yeah.
And he gets 10 times the traffic I get.
Yeah.
10 to 20 times the traffic I get.
Wow.
So obviously
know that.
the world sees that as being something that's more desirable than what I do. But that doesn't mean I want to do it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
He does that's the best part about YouTube is your show is exactly the thing you want to be doing.
Want it to be, yeah.
And if it's not, it probably should be.
Yeah.
You probably change it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So I like the thing that I get to do
is exactly
the thing that I want to be doing.
When you were a kid, though, you were the car magazine kid too, right? Like,
I was the car magazine kid.
Like Get Road and Driver
Road
and Track, Car and Driver.
You just conflated two.
Motor Trend, yes.
Yeah, I had all of them. I still have all of them.
Yeah, me too.
I got a whole big shelf of all of them.
Yeah, I always read them. And I, man, you see them less and less now, but magazine stands,
the magazines are getting a little thinner.
When you walk to the magazine, and as soon as I see like the car section, I'm just parked there, like,
yeah.
And all of a sudden I'll walk out and I'll have fucking 15 magazines in my hand, and they're like,
the traditional, I write for Road and Track right now, and Road and Track just made a big pivot, which is like that a lot of other folks are working on, which is that there's, the traditional 12 months a year paper, or 12 issues a year paper magazines are kind of getting thin, you know what I mean? But what's getting popular actually is these sort of paperback coffee table books.
Yeah.
There's a Porsche one called 000. There's a great one out of England called The Road Rat. And these are like 300-page, heavy paper, beautiful photography, long
like
form.
a couple $100 books, right? Or more.
They're probably $50 each, and it's a quarterly or something. And so Road and Track is getting into that space where they're going to do 6 issues a year, but they're going to be thicker, higher quality paper, more in-depth kind of stuff. And I think that where I'd like to be able to get my car news fast on the internet. I'd like to be able to read the more kind of ethereal and the better photography and get that in a nicer book where it's a physical thing that I want to keep on my shelf and not just a kind of flimsy, you know. But I grew up, like, my first experience reading magazines was Road and Track. Like, my first magazine was Road and Track. I always related to the format of Road and Track. And so the fact that I actually get to write for Road and Track, you know, like, my YouTube videos circled me back to the old school media. And so I get to not just write for Road and Track, like, I get to drive supercars for Road and Track. Like, I don't drive the crossovers. Like, I drive shit with like 800 horsepower for Road and Track.
Oh,
and
I
that's
know.
pretty awesome.
I know.
That's fun.
It's the most fun. I mean, yeah, because of you, first I got into a Lotus. I had that.
Those were great.
That was so fun.
Yeah, don't sleep on a Vora GT. They're great.
That's a fun ride.
Yeah, they're good.
That's a good time.
Yeah.
But then you got me into McLarens, and
They fuck you up. You start driving McLarens, they fuck you up.
they'll fuck you up.
Yeah.
But nothing fucked me quite as hard as. Here's the thing, you know, if you're talking about supercars, you're going to be like effusive with certain, you know, this thing is terrifying.
Yeah.
And then I kept saying these same things in like and then I got to the 765 LT and I was like, look, man, I don't know.
You can just stop now.
Yeah, I was like, the experience in that thing absolutely was for me for having a car for multiple days. Not like sometimes, you know, someone lets you drive around the block or something, but like for having a car for a few days, I was like, I'm going to die in this. I'm certain of it.
Now I know how I will die. Yes.
And it's like hard to explain. I had just gotten, like a week or two before, Dodge sent me the F8 wide body, the new Hellcat.
Oh,
Charger.
really? Oh,
yeah.
was
And
it
so
fun?
you know, it's a lot of fun.
Pretty cool, right?
It's heavy. You know, it's straight line power. The settings make a huge difference from like the standard setting to like their track setting. But you feel just raw power, like in your gut. The 765 LT felt like I was in Star Wars, and I was like, we're going to hyperspeed, but we're going to hyperspeed now at the beginning.
Yeah,
like it was like I could feel actual fear, like real fear. You know, that like this is too fast and too responsive for going down
for almost
Sunset,
anybody.
You know,
Right.
and I'm like, this is insane. And I told them that.
I told them that too.
I was like, this is so bananas.
I told them, and I wrote for Road and Track, that it is incredibly irresponsible for McLaren to sell that to the public.
I think so too.
I did. I told them
talked
right
you
to their
about it.
faces.
I was like,
I called the McLaren people. I went, "Are you out of your fucking minds? Selling this to people?
it's crazy.
You can lease that.
Yeah.
You can show up.
You should have to
Habibi,
pass multiple tests.
Do you know there's a Venn diagram of two circles, right?
Yeah.
People good at driving and people good at earning money.
Yeah.
They don't fucking touch, bro.
Yeah.
They don't touch. There's like
Yeah.
8 rich racing drivers in the world.
That's it. Yeah. Yeah.
They don't. The idea that you can just show up and lease
Yeah.
$25K down and $4,000 a month, and you can lease that car.
No.
And
not okay.
so you know of the 720, right? Which is what
Yes.
that car is based on.
Yeah.
Which anyone who's ever been anywhere near a 720 will tell you that that is the video game cheat code of supercars.
Yeah.
It is so fast it will fucking ruin you for. It will make Lamborghinis feel slow. It'll ruin you for other supercars. Then it was like, okay, we got the 765 LT, which is lighter weight and more power. And that enough is like predictable and probably on the verge of being too much. But then they changed the transmission and they put a close ratio gearbox in it. They shortened the gears. So the 720 was already pretty much the fastest car I've ever driven.
And perfect.
And perfect. Didn't need anything. The 765's in-gear acceleration is 15% better. At that level of supercar, nothing moves in double-digit percentages.
Yeah.
You get a double-digit in percentage improvement in any. I mean, you know, a 1% improvement is like 5 seconds around the Nürburgring. 600. It's an enormous amount. Most people would be like, ah!
Yeah.
15% faster in gear than already the fastest is insanity.
It's insane.
So I'm on the PCH going north. I'm going to this is right before they shut down restaurants. Going to Mastro's Ocean Club. I'm gonna eat in the parking lot.
Yeah. I did it before this.
Yeah, it was all right.
great.
It was like being in a wedding.
Yeah,
in the
exactly.
in the tent. And so I'm on PCH. I'm just cruising 65 straight, and I just go. It's an automatic, and I just go smash. Just smash the throttle from 65. The traction control's on, and I do a burnout at 65 through the traction control. I then try it again at 100, and I lit the fucking tires up at 100 miles an hour. I can't believe you just sell that to people.
Dude,
It's crazy.
So we were filming our video.
Yeah.
My producer Lindsay came with me, and we're shooting exterior stuff, and I'm just talking about, and then we do like storytelling. That's the whole thing we do. Talk about the car for a little bit, and we tell just stories, like comedy stories, basically. But as we're going out to this place, I get on the freeway. I think we're on the 110, and I'm like, yeah, let's see what this thing can do here. So we're looking for straightaways and also no congestion,
Right.
So we're picking moments, and he's like, why don't you punch it now? I'm like, because I'll be at that car really soon. Like, we gotta wait till it's more open.
Yeah.
I did it one time. We were already moving. We were going like 75.
If you rear end someone who's going 80, you're really an asshole.
Oh God, you're such an asshole. But we're going like 75, and I punch it, and
Do this?
yes, and then I'm focused on the road and just kind of very quickly glancing down, and just like that, we're going 150.
Yeah.
And I was like, and he shows me a photo, and then he's like, I sent it to my parents, and they're super upset with you. I was like, yeah, asshole. Like,
Super upset with you.
don't send that to your parents. They're like,
my
this guy's gonna
parents.
kill you.
A lot of wrong things in that story. Sending to the parents is really, and
Yeah.
then they're upset with you. Yeah, shut up.
Yeah.
So that, right? So that pretty much, where we're both at, which I believe is on the same page about the 765 LT,
Yeah.
is where my head was at when I went over to pick up something called the Elva.
Yes, I wanted to ask you about the Elva. The Elva, which I think most people would at least feel like reminds them of the Monza, right?
So there's a new
aesthetically.
thing. The companies are now building cars that are so fast that people are just numb to them, right?
Yeah.
Like, we're all watching stepsister porn right now, and we're not even really thinking about how fucked up it is anymore.
Right.
We're not like, should they be labeling this stepsister porn?
Yeah.
Like, she's hot and all, but I really wish it wasn't where we're at in the world, right?
Doesn't need to be this taboo.
Doesn't need to be there.
Yeah.
That's where we're at with supercars, because everything is so fucking fast, and still we're chasing numbers, right?
Yeah.
And they all kind of are starting to feel maybe a little the same, because they're all getting power and efficiency and speed sort of the same way, right? So in an effort to move from stepsister porn into like German Scheiser porn, metaphorically speaking,
Sure.
they've started taking off windshields.
Yeah.
First, Mercedes did it about 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And they had a car called the SLR Sterling Moss, which had no fucking windshield. Ferrari last year came out with something called the Monza, which has no windshield. And these are sort of throwback type cars to the 50s, right?
Yes, which you see the footage of the race guys with
Right.
like big goggles on.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what's different between then and now is now people survive crashes.
Right.
In part because of things like windshields.
Right.
and roofs.
I'm happy to hear you say that, because I got to tell you, like when I first saw the Monza, I didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
This is whatever, like a year ago. What is this?
It's
I
an
look it
800
up.
horsepower V12 Ferrari with no fucking windshield.
With no windshield.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, this looks cool and either a throwback or futuristic, however you want to label it. But then
Both,
I'm like,
retro future.
Retro future. But dude, is it? It feels like your brain's warning flags will go like, you shouldn't drive this.
Right, because you know how like
Rocks hit your
all
windshield?
these new cars, you hear people talking about the speed is there, but it lacks the feeling, right?
Yes.
And so here's what we're gonna do to get the feeling back is we're going to build these crazy things without fucking
We're gonna have
windshield.
you so paranoid that your head's gonna be taken off.
We're gonna just
will
put you
feel
outside.
alive.
You're just gonna be outside.
You'll be outside driving.
Outside now, yeah. So the McLaren Elva is I thought it was gonna be a 765 without a windshield.
Oh my god.
Which I was like, honey,
Yeah.
When I don't come home later, you'll fucking know how I died.
Yeah.
You know, it's 2,500 pounds. It weighs about 100 pounds more than a Miata. And it has
how much?
And it has 800 horsepower.
Oh my God, dude.
It's 2,500. It's 300 pounds lighter than the LT.
How much does it cost?
The base price is 1.7 million.
Yeah.
The as tested price, because the one I drove was 2.5 million.
Oh.
Yeah.
So like
It's a value. It's a good value.
700,000 options?
Yeah. It's a lot. I mean, there's a lot you can do.
Got cool radio.
It had a radio.
Oh, good.
It had both a radio and air conditioning.
Oh.
Interestingly enough.
You're set.
No, it's like you can do anything. Can be any color. Anything could, you know what I mean? You can really do all kinds of. It's all cosmetic. Cosmetically is what you can change. You can make things aluminum or carbon or painted or matte finish. I mean, it's just like it goes on. I'll send you the fucking sheet later. You'll laugh when you see the options list. I mean, there's multiple options that are over $250,000 on their own. Paint stuff. The one I drove had a color. You saw the pictures, right?
Yeah.
It was matte paint, and it was red in the front and shifted to black in the back. It was a $250,000 paint job. It was crazy. I mean, I don't even know what it's like to be able to spend that type of money, but it was crazy. I mean,
Jesus
if
Christ.
you want the bare
How did it
carbon,
drive?
well, so here's the thing. What you just talked about, all right?
Yeah.
Fucked a little bit. Oh, fuck too. What you just talked about, how the story of all of a sudden I looked down and I was going 150.
Yeah.
Right. So this is the first McLaren, or really even the first supercar I've ever driven, where it goes the other way, where 100 feels like 200. Because so it's got this little flap guy that pops up in the front, and it creates this bubble of air. It sounds gimmicky as fuck, but it actually kind of works. So it bounces the air around the cockpit.
So it's not hitting you.
So you're not getting it right in the face, right? And it works from 30 to 100.
Okay.
So from 30 to 100, you can kind of not wear a helmet. And in the canyons, I went up in the canyons. I did the story for Road and Track, and they're like, "Listen, we're gonna sign this to you, but we don't want you wearing a helmet. We want the photos to have your fucking bald head, no helmet." And I was like, "Fine, no
I
problem."
definitely thought you were going to say something different. I mean, I think everybody was.
Yeah, maybe.
Thinking that they're like, we're going to sign this, but you got to wear a helmet so you don't die.
No helmet.
Okay.
Because the issue is themed risk, so they wanted no helmet. And legally, I didn't have to wear a helmet in California. You're not legally required to in this car. So, but it doesn't mean I have a fucking death wish. I don't.
Right.
I got the car in Beverly Hills and I did like a 50-mile highway transit with a helmet on.
Yeah.
To the canyons.
With a helmet.
With a helmet.
Okay.
Because if something gets kicked up on the highway,
Oh my God.
the air deflector,
Yeah.
that won't do shit. That won't stop a big rock. It won't
Did
stop
anything
tire.
hit you? The helmet?
No.
No,
No, nothing hit me. No.
Okay.
And then when I got to the canyons, I took the helmet off. And if you're not following, a car closely, it is the most glorious thing you can imagine.
Yeah.
Totally open, but not being blasted in the face with air. Like, it was breezy like a regular car with the windows down.
Really?
But you were not getting hit in
And
the
that's
face.
just from this like little shield coming up?
It's from
or-
this thing that pops up, and it's really ugly and weird looking. It's down in the front, down towards the nose of the car. It's not right like a windshield. It's way down in front.
And just that.
And it makes this high pressure zone. The downside of that is if you've got something in the passenger seat
Yeah.
that's not very heavy, it'll get sucked out.
Oh, yeah. That's
Because of
gone.
negative pressure. Yeah, it's gone. So don't put your hat on or your sweatshirt on the passenger seat. So, okay, it's amazing because you have a fully immersive
Yeah.
experience in which you are, in nature, but you're not being assaulted by the wind. It's crazy. And you're by the way, you're mobbing. Yeah. And it's so light that it doesn't have the crazy short gears. It doesn't have a crazy loud exhaust, and it's not like all vibraty like the 765 is. It's smoother. It's a road car.
Right.
It's got regular tires, regular exhaust, regular shocks, not crazy. So because it's so light, it's like fucking flying a paper airplane. It's effortless.
How many are they making of these?
149.
And they're all sold to
I don't know. I have no idea.
Really good rich drivers?
Yeah, I mean, you have to be a very good driver to buy one.
Yeah.
Now, here's the this I wanted the shot of this photo.
Sure.
So there's a big long straightaway found, and I go, and my photographer goes, how fast are you willing to go, with no helmet on? The thing stops working at 100. It goes back down. It just like gives up.
Oh, it's like it's on your own.
Yeah, you're on your own. And if you put it into track mode, it doesn't even come up at all.
Oh.
So I did 157 with no helmet on. And I thought I had sunglasses, just sunglasses. And I thought my sunglasses disintegrated off my face. I mean, it was just, I've never in my entire life been so scared in a car. Cause I just couldn't see anymore. And it like,
that would have been the best obituary.
The way that it feels to be in a regular coupe, a car with that type of performance and acceleration, like you said, it's like Star Wars warps. Imagine that.
Yeah.
But you actually feel the change of the wind.
Yeah.
I mean, to go from 0 to 150 directly head on with the wind is like, oh my God.
That's a unique experience, what you had.
It is unavailable. Other than this Monza and this SLR McLaren, these other two, I thought I was going to hate this thing. I was like, this is going to be so dumb. And I was like, nope. They have created something completely unique.
Yeah.
And it provides an experience that is totally unavailable anywhere else in any other form.
Yeah.
Fucking wild. I mean, really wild.
You also, I got to see the Gunther Works that, because I drove up and just looked at what you were test driving. And I was like, what is this?
That's crazy.
That was
so good.
Oh, my God.
They're doing well, I think. I think they have a very long waiting list, those guys.
That's a good thing. And they're also like, I mean, the first thing that always grabs you is, the aesthetics of a car, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, man, this thing it looks so badass. And then you see
widening cars makes them look good. It's a pretty universal truth. Wide is good.
You've probably been asked this a bunch, but I want to ask you anyways. Like, if you're doing like your top 5 wish list of like anything.
Do I have all the money?
You have all the money. The money is yours.
Do I have to be practical in any way? Oh, so just crazy shit?
Whatever you want.
Best McLaren F1, at the top of the list, obviously. Best supercar of all time. Those are like $20 million.
That ain't shit.
Yeah. Amateur hour. My Lamborghini Countach.
Yeah.
Which is it's at the Peterson right now.
Yeah. That's gotta feel cool.
It's cool, but it was cool in September when they were about to open. They never fucking opened.
Oh yeah.
So it's like it's in jail.
Are they doing like even private
They were doing
tours?
like video and private tours and stuff, but I emailed them a couple days ago and I was like, hey guys,
can I have my car back?
Guess what? Yeah. And they were cool about it. They weren't dickheads. I'm going to get it this week.
Oh good.
I'm gonna drive that. The Taycan Turbo S.
I got to drive that.
It's the best.
That thing was pretty. I told you what happened when they told me I was doing the straightaway. And the guy was like, "Start with your head
on the headrest."
On the headrest.
Yeah.
And I was like, "What?" He's like, "Because you'll get whiplash." And I was like, "Okay." And then, I did it like as he walks away. I'm like, "I don't even fucking get it." And I punched that thing. I was like, "Ha!" Like just slam my fucking head. I mean, because you can't process.
Yeah.
From if you haven't driven like an elite electric car, and you've only driven, motor,
or a Leaf or something. But gas cars,
you can't actually comprehend, like what is about to happen.
Yeah.
It's
instant really means instant.
It's instant.
Yeah.
I think that thing is like 0-60 like 2.1 or something.
2.3 or something. I mean, it's absurd.
Really
it's
silly.
a dragster.
And my head definitely went backwards. Yeah.
If you haven't driven in one of those EVs, but if you've been on one of those magnetic launch coasters, that's the best. That's about the closest you can get to that.
Yeah.
But I even think those coasters don't launch as hard. From 0 to 20, they don't launch as hard as a Taycan does.
Really goes.
I have outside right now. Is this Monday? I don't think this is embargoed. I mean, let's just assume it's not. I've got the base model Taycan outside right now, which
the Euro plates.
With it's a Euro car.
I know,
it's a
but
German
those
car.
Plates look so good.
I know.
Their plates look so good.
I know they're better than our plates.
Way better
sure.
plates.
And did you notice on that car, it's got a molded bumper for the plate?
No.
It's the Euro molded bumper. It's very nice.
Man.
But even the base model, it's like under $100,000. It's still very fast.
That's actually impressive.
Yeah, it's like really appealing.
Go to Congress with me and petition and lobby.
Oh God, what are we doing?
To just have our plates changed to look like European plates.
Oh,
like you have to give like an impassioned speech about it.
I mean, Other than saying they look better, what is going to be impassioned
keep
about
saying
the
it.
speech?
You just
Say it
keep,
over and over.
you keep pointing to pictures. Like, look at this
repetition.
fucking thing, like that, and they're like, "That's a good point."
We actually, if you want to get involved, my friend Alex started the Human Driving Association, which ultimately does intend to lobby for the rights of human drivers. The idea being that you would never want, you know, I have many thoughts on autonomous vehicles, and I could fucking rant for a half hour on just that. But what you never want is to be in a position where it becomes illegal for humans to drive themselves. And so the autonomous car industry, as it grows and becomes a thing, will certainly have lobbyists that are lobbying for the rules, first to allow autonomous vehicle testing, then to allow autonomous vehicle sales, and then ultimately to regulate out human driving.
Right, and to the point where to drive, be a human driver, you'd have to be a part of a club.
Yeah.
And go to like a private thing.
Yeah, we don't ever want to be there.
No.
We never want to be there. So think about the last 20 minutes of any future movie where a human wrestles control back from some type of autonomous vehicle, or a human finds some old relic of a muscle car they can drive off the fucking grid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I'm not trying to, like, you know, get off my lawn. I'm not trying to be like that, but I think the idea that autonomous cars are an inevitable future, it's not inevitable. We have to work our asses off to get to that.
Yeah.
And we should really stop and ask ourselves if we should. So
That's a good point.
it would be a very messy transition.
It's a good point, man.
Yeah. So.
I wanted to ask you because when I first learned this about you. Oh, first of all, quick correction from when I was on your podcast last. I told you that I missed the GTS, the Cayman 718 GTS. And when I walked out, this is a very minor thing, but I'd tell a car guy, it was a 981. This is my little side note.
So it's a 6-cylinder GTS.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool, yeah.
And I miss it.
That's okay. I understand why you miss it. That's a very nice car.
I like that one a lot.
And I see how you could have mentally fucked up that number thing.
Yeah.
That
I was like, yeah, 718.
He thought I was driving a 4-cylinder.
He thought it was. But you, I found this fascinating, and you mentioned it when you first got here, which is that you worked at a exotic car rental place, and you learned a lot.
Yeah.
So my experience with exotic car rental is just driving by them for decades. And
hilarious.
And just being like, oh yeah, you can do that.
Yeah.
And then I don't know, it was like 3 years ago where I was like, oh, I'm going to go do that to fuck with my friend, Bert.
To say you bought one or something?
Exactly. So what happened was I was on tour. It was my first theater tour. We were doing Sober October where we're being sober and we're doing yoga. And so I thought he was going to be at the Comedy Store. So I brought this white Lamborghini convertible to the Comedy Store. Everybody's like, what the fuck is wrong with you? And then I see Rogan there that night, and I was like, hey, I got this Lambo. And he was like, what? And I go, because tomorrow we're going to go do yoga. I go, I thought Bert was coming tonight. I want to just casually just be like, oh yeah, pick this thing up. So he was like, I'm in.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then I'm pulling into yoga, and I see Joe calls me first. He goes, I think you're in front of me. I was like, really? He goes, well, it's a white Lamborghini. And I go, oh yeah, that's me. So we pull in. I go, so what happened when we're done with class? Like, let's all walk out together. And I told him to park near me, and I go, and we'll just be like, all right, I'll talk to you later, and I'll just open this thing and get in. And it worked like perfectly, right? And Bert was like, what the fuck is this? and at one point he was like, what's going on with you? And I was like, just fucking bought a car, man. And everybody was like, like Joe was like, oh, he's fucking balling. What's the big deal, And so, and I saw Bert spiraling, which is what I wanted. And then when I finally gave it up to him, he was like, I was looking at motorcycles. I was going to try to buy one. He's like, I felt like I wanted a treat.
Yeah.
You got a treat.
That's hilarious.
But what I didn't tell was that I went to this place and they have these exotics. I'd actually taken an orange, I forget if it was a Huracan or a Aventador or something. And I don't know, a mile down the street, lights and things started going wrong. So I called the dude. I was like, yo, I just left and this shit's going. He's like, where are you? He goes, I'll bring you another one right now.
Yeah.
And we just swap cars.
That sounds right.
That sounds right.
Well, yeah. I mean, look, these cars, it's not even like, with Hertz, right, or a big company, they got 10,000 cars, right?
Right.
Maybe there's 50 or 100 shitbag customers to rent these 10,000 cars, and the rest of the people are normal.
Right.
With these exotic car rental
people
cars,
go to
they
handle
got
them,
6 cars.
Yeah.
and everybody wants to see what they can do.
Everyone lights those things
And
up.
everybody knows if this car just gets through today, then good night and good luck.
Can I ask you something about how this business works? Because I started to ask the
It's
guy.
extremely shady, yes.
Okay, I started
Question
to ask
one,
the
yes,
guy
it's very shady.
who he
much
wasn't the
shadier
owner.
than you think.
Okay, but I was like, I started to go like, I was just doing like my very poor math in my head, and I was like, so you got like these Lamborghinis, and you have the, whatever, the Aston Martins, and the. I'm like, so I started to just ask him just out of curiosity. I was like, so like, isn't this like fucking $5 million in cars?
Yes.
And I'm paying, whatever, $800 to rent this thing for a day. And he was like, right. I'm like, so how does this like, how do you make money? I don't understand.
They make money a couple of ways. One, if you can, how you buy and how you sell the cars, right? So maybe if you're a rental place, maybe you're also a dealer. And so you could also make moves like that, right? Also, they might lease the cars. Believe it or not, they can lease the cars and then rent them to you. So they might not have to buy the cars. Also, they will really, really rake you over the coals if you damage one.
Like really?
They'll get you for loss of use. They'll get you for everything up and down.
All of a sudden, you're $800.
If you're you don't want to break one if you're the customer. And I'm not talking about a mechanical problem like you were talking about. I'm talking about you don't want to crash one or scratch one or curb a wheel or whatever. There's a ton of profit in that kind of stuff.
Wow.
And it's also kind of a shady business. I mean, it's just generally
Here's the
a
thing.
shady business.
They certainly felt like shady people.
Yeah. And I mean, not a lot of people go into that business with good intentions and end up having to be kind of shady. The ones that are less shady are if you go to a company that's got like 100 C-Class Mercedes and 3 Series BMWs and then 10 exotics.
Right.
Then the exotics are kind of a loss leader, and their volume cars are sort of these entry-level luxury cars, and they're really making their money renting C-Classes for $150 a day, and then they can
They're probably taking more care of those.
right, and then they don't have to rely on squeezing every dime out of the exotic car itself.
Right.
Yeah, but in general, it's a pretty grimy business.
When you were working at the exotic, and you say, did you have, like, when you left, did you have like a 5 or 3 or whatever that you were most impressed with?
The cars?
Time? Yes.
Yeah, by far the best car we ever had at the exotic car rental place was the 05 Ford GT. It was my favorite car we ever had. Nobody wanted to rent it because
of the Ford.
Because it was $2,000 a day and it was a Ford.
Yeah.
But I drove every car during that period, and that was by far the best driving car, by far, until it started raining. It was crashed like 4 or 5 times.
Really?
Yeah, because when it started, it had no stability control, no traction control, and customers would take it. This was in New Jersey, where I was at the time, and customers, when it first started raining, they would smash it into telephone poles and walls, all kinds of shit. Yeah.
So you guys made some money on them.
They did. They did. Yeah, they did.
We've paid for this thing a few times
I
over.
didn't see any of it, but yeah, that thing did. I mean,
anything else stand out to you in those days? Like that was great?
Favorites? I mean, I was actually always really impressed. We had a Ferrari 360 that was, I can't prove it, but I swear it was a press car. And it was juiced to fucking high heaven.
Really?
It had a motor in it that I've never seen anything like it since. It was way faster. We had 3 or 4 360s. It was way faster than all the other ones, and it was way faster than the Challenge Stradales that our friends would bring around. Back in the day, we used to race these fucking cars on the highway all the time. It was like 04, 05, 06 was like the Wild West. You think it's crazy now?
Yeah.
Now it's more like financial crimes. Back then, it was like kids being fucking wild in these cars.
Wow.
Yeah. Like my friend Rob Ferretti owned the company, or was one of the owners of the company, and he also had a YouTube channel, and you would just go out and be like wild in the rental cars. It was crazy. Yeah.
Jesus,
so
man.
like The 4GT was really the best one.
That's the
we
shit.
had, and for a while we had like manual transmission cars. We look at GT3 with a manual. We had Z06 with a manual, and every single manual transmission car the company ever had was totaled, and almost none of the paddle shifter cars.
Wow.
Yeah, they were all just people would miss a shift and
The
fucking
4GT was one of the for me was the only time I had heard about an American manufacturer doing the whole like you can't buy this thing. Like
the
I'd
new
never
one.
heard,
The
I'd
new
never,
one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'd never
yeah.
heard of that.
You have
Like
to
from an
apply.
American. Yeah, and like I know a Ford dealer, like a guy that owns a dealership, and we were talking about it, and he's like, I can't even sell you that. And I was like, he's like, even if you like wanted to, and you're like, I have the funds. He's like, I can't sell you that. I was like, what?
Yeah,
He's like, no, you got to like.
got to jump through all the hoops.
Yeah, and there's like
Yeah.
somebody who may have owned the previous one, and then I'd have to give him.
My Rob, who owned the previous one at the rental company, tried to use that as his application to get it. Yeah, it didn't work. No.
So it's a real tight list there. That
I
list thing
guess.
is weird, man. I mean,
Yeah, it
I
sucks.
kind of
I don't like
understand
the
it.
list.
I heard stories about Ferrari's
Ferrari
listing.
and Porsche both have lists.
Yeah, but the
Yeah.
Ferrari one seems more like keep out than the Porsche one does. Like I talked to somebody who was like has the funds, and
Yeah.
he was like, yeah, they didn't even seem like they gave a shit that I was like, I'm trying to buy what you sell.
Yeah.
And they were like, fuck out of here.
Yeah, it is a big part of Ferrari's brand that, and you know, by the way, you see the same thing at the high end of Porsche. You see the same thing with Rolex. You know, the hardness to get and the need to get on the secondary market, or they make you buy this old one first until your new one comes in. You know, where it comes from is the fact that, in Ferrari at least, the dealers aren't allowed to charge over sticker for the cars.
Right.
So they don't make, so rather than saying, okay, well, this is going to be $100,000 over and the first person to come up with it gets to take it home, they'll only sell it to people that have spent hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars at their store already, which sucks for everybody else.
Yeah.
Like, everybody else.
So like if you're the person who hasn't done that and you want them, they're like, no, start there.
Yeah.
Get that.
Yes. May
Maybe
I
down.
introduce you in this Mondial T?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I read an article one time about, because it seems kind of like fashion-esque to do that, about how I guess it's Chanel that makes Birkin bags, and that Birkin bags have lists,
Yeah.
and that you can be like, I want this bag. It's $30,000, and they're like,
Get on the
we
list.
don't care.
Yeah.
Like, and then
The Patek
through a back
Patek
room.
watches, the Tiffany dial, the
Yeah.
Patek Philippe watches
Yeah.
that have the Tiffany sign dial. 10 years, I think, is the waiting list.
10 years. You gotta really want some shit. Like, you gotta really want that.
Yeah, and they're not. I don't even know if any of them are getting it. I don't even know.
Don't you feel like I've never acquired anything like that, but I've coveted items
Sure.
before that I have since been able to purchase, and the rush is over pretty quick.
Totally.
It's about like, I guess, the journey of getting the
Yeah.
thing. But you get it, and you're like, yeah, I have the fucking thing.
Yeah. And it's probably, I don't know what it's like to buy $1 million cars, but I mean, it's probably the same thing.
Probably.
Yeah, because someone doesn't buy $1 million car and then go, this is it. This is the end.
Yeah.
You see someone with something like that, in 6 months, they've got another one or some other thing.
Yeah.
That's the one thing that I kind of like, I'm sort of like at a moral crossroads,
Yeah,
because
sure.
like I love cars, and like these rich guys buying this crazy shit supports the engineering teams and the design teams that come out with the next crazy thing that
Sure.
I get to have a go in and enjoy and tell the people about, and like look what they're doing. It's incredible.
You feel a dilemma with this?
I feel a dilemma because at the very high end, all these supercars, I don't think the number of people that is buying them is really expanding very much. I think a very wealthy few at the very top are hoarding so many cars.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying if I had crazy buku dollars that I wouldn't do the same thing. I love cars, and
Yeah.
I own as many cars as I can afford to own right now.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't want to throw stones in that glass house, but I really think here's the problem I have with it. It's not like I'm not going to make a big socialism pitch here or anything like that. My problem is there's a hole in the middle. if you have $25,000 to $55,000 and want to buy a sports car, you have fewer choices than ever before. And if you have $500,000 or more, you have more choices than ever before.
Interesting.
I think, and someone might check my math on this, but I think there are more choices for the sports car shopper at the $500,000 and up mark than there are for the 40 to 80,000
That's
mark.
kind of depressing.
Which is depressing.
Yeah.
It's very depressing.
Yeah.
And so that's really my issue, is that the sports car enthusiast in the middle is getting left behind and the resources are moving upwards, because McLaren knows if I want to make $1 billion, do I want to sell, or I don't want to do the math, but like I could sell this car for $2.5 million each, or this car for $250,000, and I'd have to sell 10 times as many of these things, so they're figuring out that they can just cater to this very high end who will just buy anything.
Right.
So
they're just buying based on this is exclusive. So there was a guy, nice dude, setting up like electronic shit at my house. And he sees me, he's leaving my house, and I'm going past him in, I think, one of the press cars, the GT or the 570. I don't know, I had the 570 or the 610 LT.
Yeah, the 600 LT, yeah.
Yeah, the 600 LT. So anyways, I waved to him, and he's like, all of a sudden I'm driving, he turns around. Right, he's following me. He's like, "Did you just get this?" And I go, "No." And I tell him this.
It's funny because there's an error on your bill.
I tell him the situation, and he's like, "Oh." And then he tells me about one of his other customers is a big time entrepreneur who founded a very well-known company. And he starts telling me about this dude's garage. He's like, "This garage is like, it's you can't comprehend. It has the cars lower into the ground.
Oh, cool.
And then like they raise up and they go on." And he started telling me,
He's got like a puzzle stacker. Wow, cool.
Yes, and also he's like, the garage itself is like, I don't know, man, like 20,000.
Yeah.
And this is like square feet, like on his property. I was like, what are you talking about? Then he starts describing the whole property. I'm like, you're describing something I can't even imagine right now.
Yeah.
And he starts telling me the cars, and it's just like, 4 Bugattis, and like 8 McLarens.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh.
The average Bugatti customer has like 50 cars.
Yeah.
That's a real statistic. It's
Really?
like, yeah, like 50. And it's not that they all have 50. It's that some have 5 and some have 500.
Right.
And you never even know. They send this, Habibi, you send it over here. They never see again.
I saw Leno, and I go, somebody goes, Tom loves cars. He's like, oh yeah. I go, yeah, I got, a couple hundred. He goes, you have a couple hundred cars? I go, no, you have a couple fucking hundred cars. I go, I have 4. He was like,
100.
Oh. He thought it was real. He was like, oh, that's cool. I have a couple hundred also.
Yeah, well, he'll just go along with that. You don't all have a couple hundred? Everyone's got a
Jesus.
couple hundred.
If you have a couple hundred cars and you're running out of room, try West Side Car Collector.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
WCCS.com. CCS.
Sorry.
WCCS. West Side Collector Car Storage.
West Side Collector Car Storage. I had it backwards.
That's okay. Thanks for coming.
I got to go. I got to check it out. It's an impressive facility, man.
Thanks.
Like it's very cool.
I became a concrete and metal nerd.
I know. And I remember I got to see it before it was done.
Yeah.
Because you were like, I would say you were probably like
most of the way done. Yeah.
3/4 of the way done. But all the finishes weren't done. And then it's rad, man. Like
Thanks.
you have a place where literally, if you need to store a car, or if you ran out of room at home, but also if you want a car in LA.
That's what we're doing. A lot of that. A
of
bunch of folks who leave their LA car with us and they don't live here full time.
I might be doing that.
You could do it. Because, you should. You want an LA car. You don't want to rent a car when you come here.
Sold.
You have enough cars. You're good.
You're right.
You're keeping this, right? I'd say you could use my studio too, but you're keeping this.
Yeah.
Right?
We're going to keep this.
No, keep your car with me. That was because I'm 2 miles from the airport. You're perfect.
Done.
See?
And then,
it's
what's the best part about that? And I get to the new house, and I go, God, I miss my car.
I can ship it.
No, I'll go, I just need to get another car. And then my wife would be like, but your car's in LA at Matt's place. And I'll be like, yeah, but I mean, what about
need
here?
It there. Yeah.
I live here. I can not have a car here.
This is just science. It just works.
Yeah.
You can start getting old cars. There's room down there to drive some old shit around. You don't have to sit in traffic or anything.
Yeah.
Start going air-cooled maybe. Porsche. We can work on something.
Let's talk.
We can work on something. Did you see the Comedy Store documentary? I watched it. I thought it was very sweet.
I have not seen it.
It was cool. It was cute. I liked it. It
Really?
was it was good. It made me I didn't know, I mean, the whole history, but I thought it was great. They got a lot of really good comics in there. It was
Yeah,
nice.
I saw like little clips, and then somebody sent me a clip of, I don't know, I think I said some, I don't know what I said, but they sent me a clip of it a while ago. But I heard that the
By
series,
far the funniest clip is of, I think it's Bert. I think he's on Rogan's podcast, or it might have been yours, where he goes, they should make a documentary about the Comedy Store. And fucking, someone goes, I think he is. And he goes, oh yeah, I'm actually in it. Can you edit that out? He like completely forgets.
that doesn't sound like Bert at all. My favorite is when he does on the live shows, he'll be like, and also this fucking idiot, and he'll like say someone's name, he's like, oh, cut that out. Oh shit, you can't cut that out. Like, yeah, we're live. It's a live stream.
That's hilarious. I
Man.
just oh dude, you gotta see. I know you, if you want to kill it. Is it an hour?
No, good.
You have to see the documentary on flat earthers if you haven't seen it yet. It's on Netflix.
I have seen that.
Called Behind the Curve. I think it's like a year old.
Like there's a guy who is
The main guy.
main dude.
Mark, whatever the fuck. Yeah. Okay.
That's the doc, right?
Yeah,
I
okay.
watched it.
All right, I just found it, and I know it's like a year old, but
Can
like,
I tell you, I like
it's
some
amazing.
of the artwork that
flat
was at
globes.
the and I tried to buy it and sold out. I went to this person's site like 10 times, and I was like, all their shit sold. I was like, that's cool.
It's fucking. I kind of like this.
I want
flat
flat Earth art at my house and in my office.
I'll admit, I was like, I saw those flat Earth things with the domes on them, and I was kind of like, wonder if they're on Etsy.
Those are pretty rad. And I bet it's a fun ride. It's why conspiracy theories, like why they work, why people believe, is because it's exciting to believe that you have insight that everyone else doesn't have. Like I get that it's appealing, and I bet it's fun to be dumb enough to believe that. You know what I mean? And like it's fun to watch them be like,
wow, it must
okay,
be
how come I
fun.
could see that building right there? You know, if we're supposed to be
That
curved, right?
I mean,
That's
Jesus, you got a supposedly smart person who's talking about how smart they are from their trailer, going, how come I can see Seattle?
Yeah.
If it's curved.
My favorite is when
how come you can't see Hong Kong?
I'm so dumb that I don't know any science.
Yeah.
But I love there's multiple videos of flat earthers proposing an experiment which will reveal that the earth is flat. I can't tell you what it is, but they'll like set up the thing, and then lights.
Oh, the laser thing, right? The laser thing.
And then on these multiple videos they'll be like, fuck. Like, this feels round.
Well, that's it. This feels off. Well, in the documentary, the guy's like, the only way to tell, we need a $20,000 laser gyro thing that only 747s use.
Yeah.
One of the guys buys one.
Jesus.
They fucking spool that bitch up, and it goes, 15 degrees an hour, huh? Well, that's not good for our cause. We're going to have to find another way.
Another way. There's a guy who's a flat earther who, when I go, what about like photos from space?
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, those are fake. And I'm like, all of them?
Everyone.
He's like, yeah.
Every single one.
So every time anybody shows an image from space, that's manufactured, Photoshop, and they're like, yeah. I'm like, well, I guess that's like an easy
How do you?
out.
You can't even talk. You can't even talk to somebody like that. If anything could be fake, I mean, there's obviously parallels to be drawn with some other things. But,
Sure.
But a fucking guy whose car I drove like 4 years ago.
Who?
His name was Cleveland Meredith Jr. You could probably guess where this story's going. He stormed the Capitol.
Oh, really?
And he threatened to shoot Nancy Pelosi on fucking live TV.
You drove his car?
I drove his car like 4 years ago.
Did he have a crazy car?
Yeah, he had a crazy car, and he was a crazy person back then. We didn't talk about politics, but he was fucking nuts
This
then.
guy's a fucking lunatic. Yeah.
Turns out he's like a white nationalist terrorist who went to D.C. with a truck full of guns and threatened to fucking shoot Nancy Pelosi.
Well, let's give him a how do you do?
What up, Cleve? Fucking Cleve. When someone goes, hi, I'm Cleve.
Yeah, and you're like,
Cleve.
what? Do you remember the car, or do you not want to?
Yeah, no, I remember it. It
What
was
was
a
it?
BMW M5 E39 BMW M5 with an 800 horsepower Toyota Supra engine swap. Seriously.
Shit.
It was a nutty car, and the guy, I remember, the guy was fucking on the edge. I remember being like, this guy, borderline. Like, full on, this guy's borderline
You
or
remember?
something.
I mean, was the thing drive like a beast?
Death trap. It was a death trap. Yeah, it was a death trap.
Death traps kind of like would get your juices going though too, right?
I made a pretty decent career out of driving death traps for a couple of years.
Yeah.
I drove a Pontiac Fiero that had 750 horsepower.
What?
Yeah.
A
It was
Fiero?
built by a guy who was like, God, I mean, I want to call him Captain Jack Sparrow. He was literally like a pirate.
Yeah.
He put a complete Mitsubishi Evo front subframe, engine and everything, in the back of a Pontiac Fiero. And in theory, that would maybe be okay. But the problem with that is the engine was off-centered towards the driver's side. It was left-centered, and then the gearbox was to the right. And so the problem is I'm, of course, sitting on the left also.
Yeah.
So to do that right, you'd spin it. So when you would turn left, the weight was that way, and it would corner left pretty well. When you would turn right, it would just flat spin.
Holy shit.
That's a death trap. There's
That's
a
a
video.
death trap.
There's a video, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. That 765 felt like a death trap to me.
Yeah, and you can lease that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's not like some guy made it in
Right.
his garage.
Well, that's the thing. If I've driven tuner cars. I drove a Viper that had 2,000 horsepower.
What is
Yeah.
that like?
It's pretty much like you think. I mean, you are crushed into the seat with the pressure of gravity.
Yeah.
This thing was built by a company called Calvo Motorsports in Texas. It was a Viper ACR with a 9-liter V10 with twin 76mm turbochargers, like this big, and had a sequential gearbox. So when you shift, you use the clutch to get going from a stop. Once you're moving, no more clutch and no more lifting. So flat and then like that. You just pull it back, and then forward is right. Press to go down,
clutch.
pull to go up, no clutch. So, and it's boost by gear, right? Because they program it because you put 2,000 horsepower in first gear, you're not doing anything. So you don't get full boost until fourth gear. So you roll into this thing in third at about 85 miles an hour, and it actually does it because it had drag slicks on it. It doesn't light them up like the 765 does. It fucking squats and it just goes. And by the time you hit red line, you're shifting into fourth at like 130. Fourth goes to like 185 or something. The 60, we timed it. The 60 to 150 time of this car was 5.05 seconds.
From 60 to
60 to 150. 5 seconds. 60 miles an hour. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 150. That's fucking bananas.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it just face melting, crazy town. But that is like some lunatic's creation. You know what I mean? You couldn't just turn, and even the customer that it was built for, you sure? Yeah. You sure? Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's not, this is the product. It's crazy. You can just go buy that shit.
Yeah. Jesus Christ.
You want to go try this Taycan?
Let's do it.
You want to have a go?
Yeah, let's have a little
Thanks for having me on the show.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for listening.
Subscribe to my podcast, The Smoking Tire Podcast. Subscribe to my car review channel, The Smoking Tire.
Smoking Tire
it's
on
The
YouTube.
Smoking Tire and The Smoking Tire Podcast. The two channels.
All there. And store your car.
Yeah, if you need somewhere to park your shit in LA, WCCS.com.
If there's any room.
Thanks, buddy.
Right. Thank you, man.